you. And then Allison starts blabbering about how Emily saw the two of you together.
That's just bad timing.
What were you doing in the elevator? I thought you were going to be more careful.
I didn't know that Emily was going to be downstairs.
How did you explain what you were doing with her sister?
I just told Emily that Allison and I were doing something and that Allison was perfectly safe.
Oh.
Emily did have some questions.
I bet she did, yeah.
But I didn't give her anything.
How'd you get rid of her?
I told her to trust me and to back off. What?
It's like a carrot on the end of a stick. We are never going to get rid of Emily now.
Okay. Hey, relax, okay? Emily has no idea why Allison and I are doing anything together, and your name never came up, and neither did Craig's.
Well, that's good.
You gotta give me some credit.
Well, I mean, I just think the whole damn thing is incredibly sloppy. Because if Emily breathes a word...
She won't.
She does not owe you any loyalty, you know. Not anymore.
I'm not so sure about that. But even if she does decide to talk, it doesn't make any difference. If we get done what we need to get done, then it'll all be over before anybody even bothers to listen.
From what Paul said, Rosanna was more than willing to help anyone who had a score to settle with you.
I thought you didn't put much faith in Paul's version of things.
When it comes to me.
Oh, I see. Well, but you're all ears when he's trashing me.
Look, I didn't say I believed him. I'm just trying to fill you in. He has his own theory about Rosanna's accident.
Yeah, so good. So despite having hallucinations of the future, now he's what? He's rewriting the past?
He told me that Rosanna was the one who figured out you switched Gwen's baby for Jennifer's baby so you could keep Johnny. And she was going to bust you for it.
What else?
He said that's the reason you ran her off the road.
She did that to herself. She was driving like a lunatic.
And were you the reason she was panicking?
I don't know.
You know, we haven't talked about this before, but the way you're acting now, it looks like you do feel responsible for Rosanna's accident, and I'm just wondering, is that the reason why you don't want her to come home?
If Meg can get Craig to admit to attempted murder, then this whole thing is over, as you say, today. But if he doesn't rise to the bait...
Look, why don't we burn that bridge when we get to it?
I just don't want us to wing things, for heaven's sake. If Meg fails, then we haven't heard Craig, and we're right back where we started.
I have a backup plan.
Scuttle it. Scuttle it. If Emily knows... She knows that you and Allison are hooked up doing something. She's going to poke around until she finds out what it is you're up to and why.
So I'll just have to come up with a cover story for Allison.
That's a terrible idea. I mean, I don't know how many balls that girl can keep in the air at once. I think the girl is maxed out. Shh. It's Emily. Emily concerns me.
It's Meg that concerns me. She's with Craig right now. What if Craig figures out that she's wearing a wire?
She can handle that.
You and I both know firsthand what Craig is capable of if he feels wronged. He will demand his pound of flesh. And I don't want it to come from Meg.
And you better hope and pray that Craig spills before Emily finds out. Let me know, please, when Meg gets back with the wire. I want to finish this.
Why should I feel responsible for what happened to Rosanna?
It's obviously painful for you to talk about it.
It was a painful event. It was hell seeing what happened to her. That doesn't mean that I caused it.
I'm just telling you what Paul thinks. You can't be surprised that it's negative.
You know what? Actually, this is not doing a whole lot for my state of mind, and maybe it'd be better if you just left me alone.
Hey. You didn't leave me alone when I lost my job or my nursing license. You saw how guilt-ridden I was for causing that patient's death, and you refused to let me wallow in it. I'm just trying to do the same for you.
But I don't feel guilty. I've just been on the receiving end of a few crank calls.
That you thought could be from Rosanna.
At first, but after the initial shock wore off, I realized how preposterous that is. Why dwell on it?
Okay. But whoever those calls are coming from, they were designed to rattle you, and it's working. You're not at the office, you're not running the company. Instead, you're here, tossing back drinks.
I needed a little time to regroup.
I understand. It's a lot to process. But I don't think what's getting to you is the idea that somebody's trying to gaslight you. I think it's that little voice in your head that says, this might actually be real.
I didn't do anything to Rosanna. I certainly didn't try to kill her.
And yet someone's pulling out all the stops to set you up.
Like you said yourself, I have legions of enemies. It's why I trust no one.
Including me. You know, I don't even know why I try to understand
All
it.
right, what is that? What is that about?
I have been going out of my way to show you that I don't think the worst of you. And you're not returning the favor, and it's quite clear that you never will. And you know what? It's a relief. Because even if 1 ounce of what Paul says you did to Rosanna is true, then I don't want to know. I don't want to keep your secret or carry your burden. This is between you and your conscience, and it could stay that way.
Come on, Meg.
You got a minute?
Actually, I'm late for something.
You meeting someone? Anyone I know?
No, I don't think so.
What are you up to, Ronnie?